The dust of Blackthorn Gulch hung thick in the air that evening, turning the dying light into a hazy orange smear across the ramshackle street. Eliza Kane pressed her back against the weathered wall of the livery stable, her sun-faded auburn hair clinging to her pale, wind-chapped skin in sweaty strands. Her storm-grey eyes darted from one shadowed figure to the next, 5 men closing in like wolves on a lame doe. Their leader, Harlan Snake Voss, stepped forward, his slick, dark brown hair gleaming under his hat, cold, pale blue eyes glinting with a politician's smile that never reached them. His town suit, crisp and costly in this dirt-poor town, marked him as the ranch owner's son, who thought he owned everything, including her. "You owe my father for that plot you call a farm, Eliza," Snake sneered, his voice low and oily, the kind that promised ruin with a grin. "And since you can't pay in coin, we'll take it in other ways. Boys, grab her." Her lean frame with sun-dark forearms tensed, heart hammering like a trapped bird's wings. She'd come to town for supplies, not this. Cornered in the alley behind the saloon, no sheriff to hear her cries in time. One man lunged, rough hands grabbing her arm, the faded brown canvas work dress tearing at the shoulder as she twisted away. High cheekbones flushed with fury and fear. She kicked out, catching him in the shin, but another pinned her against the wall, the stink of whiskey and sweat filling her nostrils. "Please," she gasped, voice breaking. "The harvest was bad. I'll make good." Snake laughed, stepping closer, his expensive boots kicking up dust. "Too late for please, girl. You're coming with us. Pa's tired of your stubbornness." The others closed tighter, hands reaching, her quiet mouth set in defiance, even as terror clawed her gut. Memories flashed. A brother's grave from last winter's raid, the farm she'd fought to keep alone, now slipping away. No one would help a lone woman in Blackthorn. Then, from the mouth of the alley, a shadow moved. Not hurried, not flashy, just deliberate. Jack Harlan stepped into the light, tall and spare as a fence post, twice as hard, his dark brown hair gone silver at the temples under a battered hat. Plain dark work clothes hung on his frame like they'd seen hard years and didn't apologize for it. A scar ran along his left jaw, pulling tight as his weathered blue eyes fixed on the scene, still and dangerous like a coiled rattler. The men froze. Snake turned, smirk, faltering. "Harlan, this ain't your business, old man. Walk on." Jack didn't walk. He stood, thumbs hooked in his belt, voice gravel low. "It is now." His gaze flicked to Eliza, registering her torn dress, the bruise blooming on her arm, then back to Snake. "Let her go," Snake spat. "Or what? You ain't drawn on us in years. Thought you retired that gunslinger nonsense." Jack's hand hovered near his holster, economical, unhurried. "Try me." The air thickened, dust swirling as one thug lunged at Jack. The old gunslinger moved, fast, precise. His revolver cleared leather in a blur, barking once, the bullet kicking dirt at the man's feet. The thug yelped, stumbling back. Eliza's breath caught, hope flickering amid the fear. Who was this stranger, this relic from tales whispered in saloons? Snake snarled, drawing his own gun, but Jack was already shifting, body turning like he'd read the play years ago. Another shot cracked, shattering Snake's pistol grip. The air staggered, cursing, blood dripping from his hand. "You bastard! Go!" Jack said, voice flat. "Take your trash. Touch her again, and it ends different." The men backed off, dragging their leader, muttering threats they wouldn't keep tonight. Eliza slid down the wall, knees weak, staring at Jack Harlan as he holstered his gun, slow and calm. "You all right?" he asked, offering a calloused hand. She took it, standing on shaking legs. "Why?" "Saw enough," he replied, eyes meeting hers, steady, not pitying. "Come on, can't stay here." That night changed everything. Jack led her to his cabin on the edge of town, a sturdy log structure by the creek, lantern light flickering through the window like a beacon. Inside, wood stove crackling, he poured coffee, handed her a blanket. Her high cheekbones still flushed, she wrapped the faded dress tighter, storm-grey eyes watching him warily. Tall and spare, he moved with economy, scar-pulling as he stirred stew, rabbit, carrots from his small plot. "You don't know me," she said finally, voice quiet. "Why risk it?" Jack shrugged, sitting across the rough table. "Knew your brother. Good man. Died bad. Snake's kind been pushing folks out too long." His weathered blue eyes held stories, years of trails, losses etched in silver hair. She nodded, throat tight. Memories of Caleb flooded back. His laugh by the corral. The day raiders left him bleeding in the dust. She'd buried him herself, kept the farm against odds, but debts mounted like winter snow. "They're coming back. Voss owns half the county. Let them." Jack's voice was steel-wrapped calm. "You eat, rest, tomorrow we talk." Days blurred into a wary alliance. Eliza worked the cabin, mending, cooking, her lean build proving capable. Jack taught her the rifle, hands steadying hers on the stock. Sparks kindled, not fire, but embers, in shared silences, glances across the fire. He spoke little of his past. Gunslinger turned drifter, haunted by a wife lost to fever, a child to pox. "Quit killing when it stopped mattering," he admitted one night, starlight through the window catching his scar. She saw the stillness in his eyes shift around her, from dangerous to safe. Hope crept in, warming like the stove's glow. But Snake Voss didn't forget. A week later, hooves thundered. 5 riders again, plus Snake's pa, the ranch baron in his black vest and silver chain. They surrounded the cabin at dusk, torches flaring. "Harlan, send out the girl. Debt's due," the elder Voss bellowed. Eliza gripped the rifle, heart pounding. Jack stood at the door, revolver loose. "Go home, Voss. She's under my roof." Laughter from the riders. Snake, hand bandaged, spurred forward. "You and what army, old-timer?" Jack glanced back at Eliza. A nod. "Her fight too." She stepped out, rifle raised, voice steady. "My land's mine. Take it legal or not at all." The Baron sneered, signaling charge. Gunfire erupted, Jack's shots precise, horses rearing, men scattering. Eliza fired too, clipping a rider's hat. Chaos reigned, dust and smoke choking the air. Snake charged Jack, knife flashing. They grappled, fists flying, Jack's spare build belying power. A knee to the gut, elbow to jaw. Snake crumpled. The Baron wheeled, seeing his son down. "Retreat!" But Jack's bullet grazed his mount, sending it bolting, riders fleeing into night. Silence fell, broken only by creek murmur. Eliza lowered the rifle, trembling. Jack, bruised but standing, met her eyes. "You did good." She smiled, first real one in months. "We did." Weeks turned to months. Voss backed off, deed rewritten after a telegram to the territorial judge. Eliza's farm thrived with Jack's help, cabin becoming home, shared glances deepening to touches, kisses by lantern light, tender and earned. The old gunslinger found purpose, the cornered woman belonging. In Blackthorn Gulch, dust settled on new beginnings.